Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19. It's going to take a while to get used to saying that. Welcome back to Farm Sim 19, and welcome to, what is this one called? Ravens something? Ravensfelt? I don't know. It's the American map. Listen, I was a bit out on the ledge yesterday, I have to say. I will admit it. And it's not... I guess it's kind of just a Christmas morning thing, you know? You wait for Christmas morning, and you know, you get the thing you wanted. You get the thing you've been waiting for, and you take it out of the box, and it breaks. And it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm still here with my family, and I got a bunch of other stuff. And it's still a holiday, and we're gonna have, you know, a nice lunch, and we're gonna, you know, it's Christmas is a nice day for a lot of people. Christmas is a nice day, even if one thing that you were looking forward to didn't work out. So I have to say, yesterday I wasn't hot about it. I was just disappointed, and the brief video that I did yesterday, I really kind of stuck with that. So let's come in off the ledge, and let's look at this game for real, and get over our disappointment, and unpack it. I mean, it's, as I said yesterday, I'm in it for the long haul. This is going to be my sim for the next 2 years, my farm sim anyway. So I'm not saying let's make the most of it, but let's find things to like about this sim. So first off, I did get it running, and you know, Giants, they have issues with controller support. They always have, and they know they do. So they can't, for me anyway, they can't pretend that they don't have issues with controller support, because they do. So this sim, for some reason, and no other sim that I own does this, this sim was seeing virtually every USB and HID compliant device that I had as a game controller. So even when I unplugged all my USB devices, it was still seeing a 14-axis controller. And apparently what that was it was like a hybrid. That was like a fusion of a lot of ghost devices that I had, unused devices, you know, things that I still had drivers for. I mean, I guess that's kind of on me because it's my system, but at the same time, it's never happened with another sim, and this sim historically has problems with controllers. So it's very difficult for me to look at that and say, oh, well, it's just a coincidence. They need to sort out their controller support. So, so that's one thing. I did get that running. Now, that was causing game crashes and game freezes, and once I got once I got the USB and controller issue sorted out, it fixed the game crashes. So that is a positive thing. If you're having problems mapping buttons and various other things, do some research on ghost devices or phantom devices, and it could be that you, and it's weird the way it happens. Like, you can plug in a game controller, decide you don't like it, unplug it, put it in a shoebox, never use it again, get another game controller, and on some level, somewhere deep in your system, it will see that you have 2 game pads plugged in. Most sims will be okay with it. Some, like Farm Sim, will not. So that's one thing that you can do on your own to sort out controller support. What else? The engine. Is this a whole new engine? I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I think it's a tune-up and a reskin of FS19. Is that a big deal? Not necessarily. Is that not what Euro Truck does? You know, they just keep patching the same basic game. I'm okay with that. But when you present FS19 as a whole new way to farm, this is not a whole new way to farm. This is FS17. Now, does it look better? Looking right there. That looks pretty good. I could do without this cursor. Can we get rid of that? Can we? Is there anything we can do about that? Let's take a look here. Oh, are you kidding? As soon as I input help, no, that's not it. Is it here? Is it here? No, I don't see it. And as soon as I came out of the game and I don't hear the wind blowing, I can hear leaf blowers in the background. Man, leaf blowers, they're everywhere. So I'll figure out a way to turn that cursor off, if there is one. So this right here, does this look better than 17? Arguably. Arguably. We could say that looks better. Does that look better? No, I think that looks like trash. The draw distance on those trees is, man, that is just heartbreaking. And this is with things pretty much cranked. Now, I am at a rock steady 60 FPS. That makes me happy. And that's with things on, all my settings are on high to very high. So, can I live with it? Yeah, I sure can. It's not the game itself. Like, if I had never played a farm sim before and I fired this up, I would be blown away. But it's the hype, right? It's the promise of what FS19 was going to be that is causing my disappointment. Now, as a novice Buddhist, let's get serious here for a minute. As a novice Buddhist, I know that all disappointment comes from expectation, right? The more expectations you have, the more opportunities you give yourself to be disappointed. So, could you say that's on me? Yeah, possibly. You could also say it's on Giants for talking the game up. However, as a marketing guy, I can tell you that if your marketing campaign is, you might like it. It could be all right. You know, it's not very much of a marketing campaign. So yeah, of course they talked it up. They wanted to sell it for the holidays. And if you asked me, again, personally, I would say they slammed it through without adequate testing so they could get the holiday sales. But that's just me. That's just me. Right, what else do we have going on? This house I placed. This is a placeable item, and if you go to the store, yeah, you get a farmhouse to place. 350 grand? That's pretty steep for a farmhouse. I wish there would have been more options there. However, then you go here, and you have these things, right? So I got this thing. No. I got this thing, the farm trailer, and I put it over here. Well, after I put it here, I thought 25 grand. That's fantastic, man. I don't mind roughing it. I don't mind roughing it if I can save $325,000. But this is a decorative item. You can't do anything with it. This ought to be more clear. Like, it says decoration, right? It clearly says decoration, but it's a bit misleading because, yeah. Okay, I could sell this thing, but that leads us to another problem. If I sold it, I would have an area of, like, deformed terrain right here. So, they're going to continue tweaking this stuff. I'm sure they will. But for now, I can't say I'm, like, super happy about the placeable stuff. Same with this terrain adjustment right here. It's not terrible, but it's not the smoothest. This is really taking me out of the immersion right here, this seam. Now, we do have this. Where is it? Give it. There was yesterday. Is it here? There it is. We can sleep. We can't right now because it's 10:30 in the morning, but I guess that's how you speed through the night. Okay, fair enough. So, that's your house. Now, over here, I got a shed. And we got a few things parked in there. I got the little Steyr. Kind of disappointed with the equipment as well. It's equipment that we've seen before. And there's some new stuff, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot, I have to say. Let me tell you where I'm really disappointed. There is nothing like Seasons. And I heard a lot of hinting and a lot of rumors that there would be something like Seasons in the native game. And there is not. And I'm actually kind of pissed about that, because this takes us right back to Sandbox. Like, what month is it? What part of the year is it? I just harvested sunflower here, and we're getting this field prepped. Is it spring? Is it fall? This takes us back to Sandbox. And, that's what makes me think that this is a kid's game, and Giants counts on the mod community to make it into something else. And I have to say, I think that's really kind of shitty, because they save the money of developing a real sim. And yet they get both markets. They get the market of the cat. Whoa, look at that stutter. And that's with VSync on. That's terrible. They get the kids market, I call it. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with kids. I personally don't like kids, but I'm not like down on kids or anything. But they get the kids market and the casual gaming market and the console market. And then at the same time, where are you going, buddy? Hey. This is a little suspect. Sir? Sir? Whew. Okay. Thought he was going over to do that other field. So they get the console gamer and the casual sim market. But then they also get the serious sim market after somebody else has fixed their product at no cost to them. And I think that's a bunch of boo-boo, I have to say. That is ridiculous. Particularly when they have a mod contest and mods like Seasons, right, and more realistic, and Gearbox and the terrain control mods and various other things, you know, they have access to it. And then on top of that, I mean, everybody knows how reverse engineering works. You see something that somebody else has done, and then you find a way to do it yourself, but you have to like go through this kind of rigmarole process of pretending that you came up with it on your own. And it's not, I mean, it's a real thing. Like in the Bay Area, you can find a piece of technology and you can pay a company to create a viable path that you allegedly took to invent the same thing. And that's how reverse engineering is done. Like, I'm not joking. It's, I don't know, a piece of intellectual property. It works best for that because it's hard to patent. But you get what I'm saying. You invent something, right? I want to sell it, so I hire a company to tell me what steps I would have had to have taken to have invented the same thing myself. I start selling the same product, and if you sue me, we go to court, and I show my fake path that I took to develop your product, basically. That's the core of reverse engineering and patent theft. So for Giants to take a look at something like the Gearbox mod, right, or Seasons, and just reverse engineer that and call it their own, they could totally do that. And I'm not saying that they should steal mods, but it's not a big chunk of code to have these tractors behave like tractors, or for them to have gears, particularly some of the older ones, because there are some, let me find some in here, right? Like this Fiat does not have a CVT. This Fendt does not have a CVT. That's got a gearbox, and you should hear it shifting through the gears, and it wouldn't take, gearbox is what, like 1.5 meg? It's not a big deal to slip something like that into the game, and they could totally do that, and they didn't, and I find that really kind of disappointing. So let's quit complaining. Let's go explore a little bit. So, okay. So here is our map. We are down here. This is the little area that we bought. Now when you go to lands, the land, you can click areas of the map and you can buy whole areas. So when I bought this area right here, it came with the little valley where we placed our buildings, and it came with these 3 fields. And then I bought this field as well, and it comes with, I guess, this logging area. So you can do that anywhere. 1.2 mil. Man, it's going to be tricky to make money in this game. This comes with a little area here. You know what? Let's go explore this area. Let's go see if we could have placed our things there instead of over there. So, can we? Nope, we can't. Okay. So we'll go there. It's up between the fields and across the top. Right, here we go. Let's drop off our weight too. We don't need that. Oi. So yeah, I'm so used to the controls from FS19. Now, I will say this. Once I did get my controls sorted out, find a map here. There it is. My controls for the most part, my control schema for the most part is native FS15. When I first started playing the sim in FS15, I just went with the basic kind of default controller layout, and then it carried over into FS17. There's a few things that I've remapped, but for the most part, it's you know, kind of a good setup, so I just went with it. So everything is very familiar to me once I got rid of that phantom device, that 14-axis device that was screwing everything up. Once I got rid of that, everything is pretty familiar, and it's pretty easy to do things like raise and lower. If you got a weight on the front, you know, you lower the weight, you drop it. It's nothing about that is terribly complicated, so that's a good thing. The game is a little washed out. I have the color turned down right now, and it's making it look a little muddy, but that's something we can sort out in time. I don't think we could have put a whole lot of buildings here. And I don't know, is this an active device over here, or is this strictly scenery? I don't know. It looks like there's a couple of sell points here. Here's a little dialogue box. What does this tell me? Doesn't tell me anything. Tell me something. No, does not want to tell me anything. Well, I mean, you sell something here. Is it wood chips? Potentially. And then that would make this logs? Scrap? I don't know, man. Let's go back to the map. What is this called? So Biomass and Barn. What do they buy at the barn? Do they buy anything at the barn? Yeah, they must. Looks like they buy... These aren't labeled, by the way. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Could be... I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay. Well, this would be slurry, I guess. This would be manure. Ma-nure. Is that wood chips? I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, they buy it there. I guess we'll have to wait until we have some in one of our tippers to see. Okay. Yeah, little details like that. You know, that's the only word I can use is disappointing. And it makes, to me, it makes the game feel half done. And that's when I think, yeah, they just slammed us through for the holidays. Get them holiday dollars, yo. Holidays? More like dollar days, am I right? Anyway. So let's go out here. And now there's one other thing that I'm curious about. And we're going to need to make some money because ain't no more money cheat in the XML. You call it research, you can, you know. But my typical way of playing in FS17 is I would sell all the equipment in a map. Cheat in €2 million or $2 million or whatever, and then go from there. And right? Because I figure instead of starting with equipment, I'd rather start with money. Well, in this game, you can do that. You can start with no equipment and just money, but you also have to buy the land. And land is always very expensive. This is where I want to go. The restaurant, the shop. I have not been down to the grain elevator at the port. Railroad silos, the biogas. Okay, let's do that. Let's go to the port. So no more cheating money in. So I had to take out a massive loan, and our fields are tiny right now, and we're totally upside down. There's going to be a new way to play the game, at least as far as how I'm used to playing it. So it's going to take a while to get used to, I don't want to call it a restriction. It's just it's going to be a different way to play the sim. So I am going to have to take some contract jobs, and when we get down to the port, I'll stop and show you. But it seems like So previously, on a previous episode of a farming simulator, if you wanted to do a contract job, they provided the equipment for you. It seems like now, if you want to take a contract job, you can either lease the equipment, but I think you can use your own. So right now we own a plow, we own a cultivator, and we own 2 broadcast spreaders. I'm using one for Lyme and one for pellet fert. So, yeah, I get... anytime the view jumps for no apparent reason, that's me forgetting that I'm not in ETS. So I think, and I'm going to have to check on this, I think you can use your own equipment for contract jobs, which would make perfect sense. And I think that would be, if I'm right about that, then Giants gets 1 point back. They lost like 1,000 points for this whole game isn't done. It really should be in beta testing. They lost a lot of points for that in my book. But I'll give them back a point if you can do jobs with your own equipment, because you buy equipment, you invest money in it, you need to make that money back. So as far as waiting for, if you have a cultivator, rather than waiting for fall or spring, depending on how you prep your fields, rather than waiting for fall or spring to use that equipment and recover some of the price of it, you can do contract jobs and begin recovering the price of it straight away. So, okay. I will definitely see the value in that. I think that's a cool idea, and also realistic. If you're a farmer and you have a piece of equipment, you don't just want it to sit idle all year. If you can find a way to use it and make money with it, of course you're going to do that. It's a very big curb. Right. What are we looking at in here? It says there is a sell point here. Is there? I don't see a trigger box. Let's look at the map. Map. Where are we? We're over here now. Lyme Station. Okay. And it's on the other side of that fence, I'm guessing? Yeah, it is. Okay. So Lyme is, I guess, a separate fertilizer. You've got pellet fert, and then you've got Lyme, and they count... Well, I'll show you. They count differently. So, let's say we want to look at our field 26 that we just harvested sunflower from and prepped. So if you go here, right, we did put lime on it, so we're good there. And then we did plow it, so we're good there. And then we did put fertilizer on it, so we're good there. And we did cultivate it, so we're good there. That's my regular full prep that I do. But fertilizer and lime count as 2 different items, whereas before, well, I guess in mods, they didn't. Lime just, it was a fill type, but it didn't count as a separate fert. You didn't have to use it as a separate fert. It just counted as a regular layer of fertilizer. What is this? What is this? That, man, I would really like it to show me those. Time scale. No. Is it here? Help icons in the game. Interactive zone markers on. Zero controls on. Help with. Okay. Let's try this. Sell wood. I don't have any wood to sell. Okay. But this is where you would sell wood. Okay. Fantastic. All right. All right. I don't know, man. I'll turn this off. How you feeling about that? How you feeling about that render? Let's get over here in the sun. Jesus, why is it always so loud whenever I start recording? I mean, it's a little dark right now. I could lighten that up. I have it down. Jesus, I have it down like 2 clicks. It starts in. Okay. Whoa. Okay. It starts at a value of 1. for the brightness. It starts at a value of 1, and I have it on like 0.8. So, well, I mean, I guess I'll try 0.9. If 1 is too bright and 0.8 is too dark, I think 0.9 could be where we're at. Okay. And where are we going next? We're going to the BGA, and how do we get there? Let's say, well, it says it's right up there. Okay, so can we go around behind the sawmill? I believe we can. You want to do it in cab? You want to do it live? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not... I don't want to say I'm sorry about the video I posted last night. I'm leaving it up. You know, I'm keeping it. But at the same time... Yeah, let's go up here. At the same time, you know, maybe I should have waited. But to be fair, I had been trying to get the game started for over 3 hours and was just having continual freezes and crashes. And I mean, man, I'm only human. I'm only human. It does get pretty frustrating when something that you've paid full retail for is not working properly. Hang on for a second. I've lived in America on and off most of my life. I ain't never seen a windmill like that in America. Never, ever. Never, ever. Except at, like, you go to, like, an old Dutch restaurant or something. The restaurant's not old, but it's supposed to be, like, you know what I mean? Old-timey Dutch. Pennsylvania, Lancaster. You know what I'm talking about. So, where we going? Okay, let's just go, trying to look and drive. Let's go, yeah, I think we just stay on this road all the way around. Okay. So, I guess what I'm saying is I should have, maybe given it some time to kind of mellow out a little bit, you know? I should have given myself some time to sort the game out. But, well, first off, that's not how I do things. And secondly, no, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I buy something for full retail and it doesn't work properly, that's just on me. You know, like, I don't have, my money doesn't have a self-destruct feature. It's not like I give Giants my money and Giants gives me a game and I'm like, listen, player, if this game sucks, my money's gonna melt and you won't have it anymore. Like, they always, not just Giants, but anybody, once you've given somebody your money, they've got it forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. But what you have is still sort of volatile, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like, you can, this game, for example, I mean, I pre-ordered it. They got my $35, and, you know, we get the thing fired up, and lo and behold, maybe it's not quite ready for prime time. And that's just, you know, we'll patch it. There'll be a patch. Well, who else gets to do that? You know, it's not like I give somebody my money and they call me back and say, yeah, it turns out your money's no good. And I'm like, oh, give it time. It will be. No, man, I don't want to hear that it will be good. I want it to be good now. And I guess that's how I feel about retail products. You know, if it's beta, call it beta. And if you need to get it out for the holidays, I'm really sorry, but that's on you. That's not on me. I'm not here to finance your Christmas bonuses. So, yeah. Okay, now what is this? This is another Lyme Station. I'm guessing the white icon indicates Lyme. Yep, okay. And that, I mean, I guess that points to a larger gaming topic as well, which is, you know, video games used to be video games. They were their own thing, and now video games, I feel like they're almost like movies, and movies make, or are supposed to make, more of their money fairly quickly, you know. Now, sim games, okay, this is regular biogas, this is regular, yeah, this is the BGA. Okay, so these are the regular bunkers, just like in 17. Okay, easy enough. We got, what, 1, 2? Just 2 of them here. Okay, okay. And then this is, I don't know what fills here. Is that decorative? Okay, here's a... Ah, interesting. Okay, so this is your hopper for silage. Okay. Okay. And is this your pipe for digestate? No. Is this your pipe for digestate? You know what? I think it might be. It's not an auger because it's got a kink in it. So yeah, this looks like a... Yeah, this looks like a pipe to fill your digestate. Okay. It's all starting to make sense now. Where else do we want to go? Oh, Railroad Silo West. And we can continue. We can go... Yeah, let's go up. Looks like there's a couple bridges. Okay, so we want to get turned around and let's go back the way we came. At least as far as an entrance, and then we'll make a turn. So video games have become, to me, a lot like movies, and movies make most of their money straight away. Like the first 2 to 4 weeks. And I feel like you see some movies and it's like, oh, come on, man. You had to know that was going to suck. When you were editing it, shoot, when you were filming it, you had to know that was going to suck. And it's kind of almost like a bait and switch. Like, yeah, they did know it was going to suck, but they put together a good marketing campaign for it, and their goal was to sell a bunch of tickets the first and second weekend before word got out that it sucked and people stopped going to see it. And it's like, you know, if you have $50 or $100 million invested in a movie, at a certain point, whether you believe in it or not, at a certain point, it's like, it's still $50 million, you know? It's not, I don't think you can just throw your hands up and say, well, you know, oh, well, I guess it just didn't turn out that well. What are you going to do? And the people that gave you the $50 million are going to say, well, you're going to give me back my $50 million is what you're going to do. You know, you can't just throw your hands up and say, oh, well. So you make a cash grab. You put together a slick marketing campaign, and you basically trick people into going to see a bad movie so you can recover your money or recover your investors' money. And when there was a gap between making a big Hollywood movie and making a video game, wow, look at that car in our mirror. That is like 2005 back there, man. Look at that. That's terrible. Wow. Farm a whole new way, huh? Yeah. So when there was a gap, a philosophical or a practical gap between video game development and filmmaking, I feel like there were 2 different ways to do it, but I feel like video games have become very much like film now, and we have the same problem. It's a little bit different for sim gaming because sim games tend to have legs, although I'm noticing that the FPS genre, shooter games, are starting to get more into that DLC model, where it used to be that a shooter game, at least in my experience, a shooter game was a game that you played a lot for a few weeks, and then you were more or less done with it. But with DLC being what it is now, that looks pretty good. I have to say, that looks pretty good. Right? Nice sun effect. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not hating this. The game is, I have to say, it's pretty inconsistent because it doesn't all look like that. Yeah, that looks alright. Oh, fell off the edge of the world there. That looks alright. Okay. Oh, needs a little work up there. Alright. So I guess even the shooter... Whoa. I was just wondering what would happen if a train came. Sure enough. So the shooter game model, I guess, is evolving too, to try to give those games some legs where you continue adding DLC and there are more reasons to keep playing the game. For sim gamers, we didn't even necessarily need DLC. We like DLC, obviously. But these games, to me, have incredible legs. You just play them and play them and play them. So the idea that you would want to sell as many copies of your game as possible in a very short time, I think with the amount of money that's being invested in video game development and as cynical as it's making us as consumers and as, not greedy, but, you know, like I said, you got $50 million invested in something. And I'm not saying this game has $50 million invested in it. It's just an example from movie making. But you got $50 million invested in a movie. You really can't just say, oh, well, you know, that you owe that money to somebody. So you got to make it back any way you can, even if you have to compromise your artistic integrity. And unfortunately, I think video games have gone the same way. It just feels like, you know, how many copies of this can we sell before people find out that it's really disappointing? And that's how you end up with this. All right, let's go check out the lighthouse. I mean, I like stuff like this, but at the same time, it's like, whatever. You know, it's not... I'm not necessarily all about scenery simulator. Although this is... Jesus, this is really nice. Like, why doesn't the rest of the game look like this? That's really nice. Okay. So, yeah, and that's... I mean, I hope I'm not, like, ranting about that, but it's a factor. It's a reality. That looks terrible. I have to say that's a hot mess. Wow. Yeah. So we have this. Looks pretty good. And then we have this is just like... We won't look at that anymore. Makes my brain hurt. So, okay. All right. We've got some highs and some lows here. I have to say. I haven't seen any gold nuggets. Good. I was never a fan of the gold nugget system. If you're going to give me $1 million, just give me $1 million. Don't make me play a little scavenger hunt kids game to find it. I also didn't like that once you found 10 of the nuggets, it made the other 90 show up on the map, and you're just cluttered all over the place on your map. Right. Where do we want to head from here? I guess we can just take this essentially all the way back to our farm, and then we'll call it, because we're at about 38 minutes right now. Okay. Let's do it. So, yeah, I mean, the modders will fix the game. You know, Giants got my $35. I had to do about, I wouldn't call it work. Well, I mean, I guess you could call it work, because if I was doing it for a client, I would be charging them $100 an hour. So you can call it work, but you know, the bug hunt and you know, tracking down that HID compliant phantom device error and getting it all sorted out. If I was doing that for a client, I would charge them money and they would pay me. So I guess you could call it work, but it took me hours and hours of work to get a full retail game to function. And I've got, I don't know, 25 sims and have never had this problem with any of them. So it's not like a common problem in sim gaming. So, yeah, once that's all done, the game plays now. It is stable. I am really, really disappointed at the absence of seasons, the absence of gearbox. The tractors are better. They no longer have the Formula One car performance, but they still... We'll go from a dead stop. Let's get a 0 to 30 time. We're just going to have to kind of eyeball it here. Ready? Here we go. So, not quite 30 miles an hour. 0 to 50 kilometers an hour in about 10 seconds. Ain't no tractor I never seen. And that is the sort of thing that makes me think this is just a console game. It's just a kid's game, and then the modders will turn it into a proper sim. And that, I will say this over and over, that to me is pretty shitty on the part of Giants. That they get both markets, but they only have to develop a game for one, and then other people in their community will do the rest of their work for them for free. That's messed up. Let's get out here. So, yeah, man. Now, it said that you had to water your crops. I don't necessarily see that, and we'll take a look in the store. In fact, I can pull over somewhere down here. We'll take a look in the store, but for the sprayers, I didn't see that you could spray water as a field type, and I didn't see a field in the map. I didn't see a field for having to... What is that up there? A moment. Is that some type of a dam? I suspect it is. Let's go take a look. I did not see a water field type that you could spray, and I also didn't see a field in the map to indicate a field state of watered or not watered. In fact, I'm going to show you right now. So we go back here, and we use our field as an example. We have growth, cultivated, growing, ready to harvest, harvested, plowed, removed tops, withered. We have our fruit types: weeded, fertilized, plowed, lime, and that's it. And I did hear that there would be a water field type, and I feel like I heard it in some official type of something. You know, it wasn't just somebody like talking ish. It was in the same way that I heard that there would be some type of a seasons implementation, some type of a gearbox implementation. You know, I heard a lot of rumors that... I'm in marketing, man. I'm in marketing, and I'm a cynical cat, and I know in 2018, I know what rumors are. And rumors are not, you know, this ain't the 50s. Rumors are not rumors. In 2018, how do I want to say this? In 2018, just about every company that I've worked with recently has either already been all about bullshit, fake rumors, or, can we go on here? No, not yet. I came up here last night. Same game day, but last night for me in real life, I came up here. There's like a... Yeah, the ranch. I'm gonna need this. The ranch is... No, it's not. It's further down. Yep. There's like a mission or something on the hill. I don't know. I guess this represents California because I see palm trees and there is a mission. So that to me points to California, although it's kind of a hybrid, which is fine. But I would call it kind of a hybrid because you've got, I mean, it's on the coast, but then you've got a mission, but then it's sort of the Central Valley, but then, you know. And this is just a scenery item. You can't buy anything here. Wow, are you seeing that stuttering? That is terrible. So yeah, I don't know why everything is falling apart, man. That's... What are you trying to make a comment about American infrastructure? We're doing okay. Our bridges don't collapse spontaneously that often. So, down here. So I'm comfortable saying that a lot of the rumors that you heard about this game, I'm cynical enough to say that was marketing. You know, that's how you do it in 2018. You put things out on social media and you let them take on a life of their own, and then afterwards you say, well, we never mentioned it officially. So, you know, as far as seasons and that sort of thing, I don't know. We'll have to wait, and I don't know how long it's going to take the seasons crew. Is that real as Miss Modding? I don't know how long it's going to take them to have a season's implementation. They may have been working on it all along in collaboration with Giants, and it'll drop tomorrow. Who knows? But for now, what do I do next? What month is it? What day is it? It'll get there. It'll get there. And yeah, this will be nice because we're right at 45 minutes. That's a good length for a video, and we're going to bring it back around full circle, both geographically and philosophically. We'll bring it around full circle, and I'll say that's that Christmas morning thing. You can have a 99% good Christmas morning, and it's up to you as a citizen, as an adult. It's up to you to not get overly fixated on the 1% that didn't go your way. At the same time, if that 1% is what has been hyped up to you, then it's understandable that you might have kind of gravitated to that in the first place because you were told to. And farm a whole new way? No, not really. Not really. It's cool. The modders will fix it. I'll play it. Life will just go clickety-clacking along. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for our first full episode of Farming Simulator 19. And we will see you next time. Take care now.